If you just joined us, this is The Press. We're reaching you live from KAFTAN's television studio here in the nation's capital, Abuja. Now we'll go straight to analyzing the stories that we read out to you. Our phone lines are now open. You can call in to make your contributions or ask your questions. But like I always say, ensure that you keep your comments as clean and as safe as possible. And please leave it at 1 minute. And please also turn down the volume of your TV set while you do so. My guest on the show today is Obadiah Mbila. He is the Lovewalk CEO, Lovewalk Media CEO. Great to have you on the show today again.
Thank you for always having me on Mondays.
Great. How was your weekend?
Good morning, everyone. Oh, fine. It was a wonderful weekend watching the gathering momentum of planned protests, of which we don't know the names of the leaders, but everywhere there's a palpable fear, and I think it is what is confronting us today, but it's surmountable.
Okay, because you started from there, let me draw out strings from your responses. You talked about the fact that you said three things that I was able to get out from what you just stated. You talked about surmounting fear. You even talked about, you said it's surmountable. Then you talked about palpable fear. And then you also talk about the fact that we don't even know the sponsors and all, and they're still gathering momentum. But now in all of this, you have I had a conversation with Omoyele a few days ago, and then when I asked who exactly are the sponsors of this protest, because I know that he has always been in forefront when it comes to protests, so there's no way he's not going to have an inkling of at least to give us some names. And then he mentioned poverty, corruption, hardship, unemployment. They are the real protests. In fact, the same way you just chuckled was up. I almost wanted to start grinding from chin to chin. But then that was his response. But then you also have Peter Obi making the same response, says corruption, hopelessness, poverty are the sponsors of this protest. Now that's one on the side, even though most people, the police, the army, the National Assembly, their complaint is the fact that since we do not even have a name or a face to the protest, that's where it now becomes scary. That's one on the side. And secondly, you talked about palpable fear. I saw one particular, okay, that's on the Daily Sun, says nationwide protest fallout, senators, reps, politicians desert Abuja and travel abroad. Is it fear that is causing all of this? You also have in Oyo State where the assembly said they're going on recess. Even the National Assembly has gone on a very long recess. So all of this, is it fear, not only from the president, but also the presidency and even the Nigerians as a whole? Is this fear for you?
You know, I have always said that we should separate what is coming now from what we think is a fallout or a continuation of NSAS. This is not NSAS. And if we...
And it's not going to look like NSAS?
I doubt. You know, the problem is this. When you allow a mixed multitude, the intention of the entire protest will be lost, because the mixed multitude, each one is coming from an angle that is alien to the real intention. And that is why it is totally wrong for our elected public officers to begin to run. This would have been the time for them to put heads together with Mr. President and say, look, Mr. President, Nigeria will be set burning if we don't do something very concrete that is known to pacify the agitators. Look at what Shaure has said, and I think P2B has repeated it, that the organizers are hunger, and then list the names of the issues that actually gave birth, inspired the protest. For me, as a spiritual student, I have always known that at the turn of every 25 years of a consistent program, something very spectacular would happen, and it happens again after in the half century, and then it will culminate at the end of the 100th year. Now, if you will recognize the fact that we are the 25th year of our Fourth Republic democracy, something very, very spectacular is bound to happen. Unfortunately, the president who came not because of his campaign promises, but because he said, "It is my turn," have not handled matters in such a way that the protests will be streamlined, will be focused towards given objectives.
But they always gave excuses or reasons why they made that statement in Milocon from the campaign season.
Well, you know, as I've said before, we are the 25th year of our democracy, the Fourth Republic democracy. And something very spectacular is bound to happen. And if it's going to happen under President Tinubu, because it was his turn, then he is inheriting what was destined to happen at the 25th anniversary of our democracy.
Ah, okay.
So, having inherited it because it is his turn, the truth remains that his advisors are not handling him they are not focused. If they are focused, what they would have known themselves is that the palpable fear that is gripping senators is also affecting them. They should have an inkling of what is brewing, you know, and ask themselves, if they have spiritual advisors, what do we do?
Okay, but because, sorry, I had a button. Because you talked about his advisors, now it looks as though we have the president urging or begging Nigerians for dialogue, not to protest. But you have the presidency, on the other hand, threatening and saying that if you protest, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. So is it that we have a president and then we have the presidency?
The sum of what is happening is that when it is convenient, this president speaks, and he doesn't speak directly to the people who owns the power, the mandate that he is that empowered him. He speaks through his third parties who come out to reel out whatever they claim that is the president's position. So Nigerians do not actually understand the voice of their president. Or they see Singalari or the other one that has become ethnic bigot, you know, stoking trouble, you know.
Is that how you see him?
Of course, when you have, you don't make enemy upon enemy. Otherwise, you don't have wisdom. If you have enemy and you are confronting an enemy, you make sure that even your enemy becomes your friend, so that they can help you tackle the one enemy that you have. But a situation where you know that you have an enemy and you are creating more enemy for yourself, you lack wisdom. And to that extent, he not supposed to be an advisor of president. There is nothing presidential about his advice. He is a troubleshooter. He is a bazooka who shoots at random, creating more problem for his principal.
All right, let's go to our phone lines and see what Nigerians are saying. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Abuja.
Emmanuel from Abuja. Go ahead. You have 1 minute.
Thank you. I think on a lighter note, I think protest has never solved any problem nationwide. In the whole world, I've never seen where protest solve a problem. Protest has its issues, and the way it turns out is always very, very devastating. especially for a protest that does not have leadership. This, I want to join my voices to Nigerians, among Nigerians who are saying no to this protest. Absolute no to this protest. There is no need for it because the outcome is going to be disastrous. Take, for instance, they are comparing us with Kenya. We all know what happened in Kenya. Even the guy that led the protest has apologized because the disaster in Kenya that happened after the aftermath of that protest is nothing that even the enemies of Nigeria will not wish Nigeria into it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Answers the same thing.
All right.
So this protest must be condemned in totality because it is faithless. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too, Emmanuel from Abuja. All right, let me take it from Emmanuel's question. I'm going to ask you directly for your personal opinion in all of this, because you see this wind or this wave of protests coming from Kenya, you go to Uganda, and then you go to Bangladesh, coming back to Nigeria, talking about the even though I see that you say that it has nothing to do with the NSAS protest, but then you have CPPE saying that for over 400 billion naira will be lost if the protest happens. And then you also see some other persons, I think it's on the Vanguard newspaper, where you have some people saying a panic of over planned protest worrisome. Okay, that's coming from Professor Otomi. Then you have, I can't remember where I saw that. Okay, stop criminalizing and politicizing protests, Lukman tells Tinubu. So you have some people who says that if this protest becomes, if it's infiltrated and it becomes, you have violence, it means is because it's the kind of body language that the person who's at the helm of affair, that's the president, gives. That's why it's going to happen. That's what they are stating.
Exactly.
So I'm going to ask you, in all of this, are you for or against #end bad governance in Nigeria?
Yes, as Obadiah Mbila, I am totally against protest as an individual. I recognize that Reverend Martin Luther King and many other world leaders have said in the past that those who make peaceful revolution difficult are making violent revolution inevitable. If there is any protest and it succeeds by bringing down Nigeria, blame Mr. President and his handlers. We can nip this at the board. It is wrong to say that you don't know the organizers of this protest. The youth in the street who are suffering the difficulties created by the policies of government. The youth who are reading every day the large sum of money that is being diverted into individual coffers. The youth who have come to hear some stories from the NNPC Dangote saga, Malta refinery, etc. and etc. The young people, the old, who have asked themselves, do we have any reason to be importing fuel in the first place? There are also the naira that has been nosediving ever since President Tinubu come on board. So for him to pretend that all is well and allow this palpable fear to come to the level where it is, where it appears that there is no going back, they should be blamed.
Is it really a #end bad governance in Nigeria or a #end Tinubu's government now?
That is the reason why it shouldn't have started in the first place. That said is end bad government. What was the meaning? What's the meaning of end bad government? So you can see that it is like coming indirectly to say end Tinubu's government.
All right, let's take.
I think that's the reason why the presidency is not comfortable.
Blowing hot.
Yes.
Good morning. Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good Good morning, KAFTAN. Good morning, Annabel.
Good morning,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Fortune.
Go ahead, Fortune. You have 1 minute.
All right. Thank you, KAFTAN, for giving us this opportunity. I love you people.
Thank you so much.
I listen to your program on the conversation with Omolation the other during the weekend. So, I want to pass this brief message to to the youth who are now ready for this this event whose time has come. Please, if Showore himself is listening to me now, please we should reduce this the list of this demand for a bearable minimum. At least we should hold something like reverting to the old time of West Subsidy. Let's start there first, because when this list is much, we know how corny our position is. They will turn around to say that yes, you are coming with this all these ambiguous list. There is no how that any sensible person can meet up with this and that, blah 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 blah. We know how they do this, so we should take them once after the other, and by God's grace, even I know it's going to be successful.
All right, thank you so much, Fortune from Abuja. Thank you so much for your contribution. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Lagos State. My name is Oloromo.
All right, go ahead, Olu.
Just want to say this. I just want us to be honest with ourselves. Now, people are complaining that the protest should not go on. It's very, very simple. The president can start the protest today. What are the things he can do? Let them reduce the salary of the ministers. And there's some demands that he can even make today. And people that come to protest, they will end the protest today. Now, it's all about end bad government. So he can end bad government today. And we will now protest. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you too, Olu from Lagos. Great to hear from you. Good morning. Good morning. Are you there? Okay, let me let you go. Call back if you can. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
This Chief Gideon from Lagos.
Go ahead, Chief Gideon.
You see, this government, they are just on the pretext.
You need to turn down the volume of your TV set or move away from it.
Yeah, they know what to do actually. How can you tell your son?
I'm sorry, Chief Gideon. We might have to let you go. Please turn down the volume of your TV set before you talk to us so we can hear you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name or where you're calling us from.
My name is Mbila. I'm calling from Abuja.
Husseini from Abuja. Go ahead.
Yes, a quick one. You see, it's so easy for people to sit in the comfort of their room to say that protest shouldn't go on. It's so easy. But those who say the protest shouldn't go on have not been able to effectively communicate or to explain why the protest shouldn't go on. As we speak, in Abuja, for instance, a bag of rice is about 79,000 naira. As we speak, a car rent over area that was 500,000 naira now is 1.2 million for single room. Then how will a man who earns 70,000 naira with 3 or 4 kids manage that? So we often forget that the Nigerian state doesn't seem to understand the reality of existence. And when you listen to states, those who speak for the state, they describe the protest as being politically motivated.
All right, Oseni.
They are even denying the existence that they're supposed to look for solution.
All right.
I think we should face the reality. Have a wonderful delegation.
Thank you so much, Oseni from Abuja. Great to hear from you. Good morning. Let me take our last call before we go to our next headline. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. This is Chief.
Oh, great. Go ahead, please.
You know, it's like you, as a father, having a plate of fried rice on the table with chicken on the table. You are not telling your children to start fast and praying. And they are watching you eating. The children, they are crying, holding their stomach. And you tell them to exercise things that we still get to them. The children will attack you. Say, Father, why are you doing this to us? And they are not saying they should handle this as a family matter. This gone beyond family matter. People are hungry and crying. Look at now. People cannot even buy fuel to move around.
All right.
How do we get this thing? How do we get it to change?
All
They
right.
are buying fuel presently now. 18 naira, 800. 900 per liter.
All right, Chief Oseni.
And they said we should not part and protest. They're querying this protest.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Oseni. Your point is very well taken. Thank you so much for your call. Let's just go to other headline. But before I let you go on that particular headline, one last question on that. Will protest solve this quagmire?
Oh, certainly not. That's the reason why I said, as Obadiah and Mbila, I don't believe a protest.
So it means after August 1st to August 10th, if the protest happens,
Yeah.
we might be back to square one or
Yeah,
zero.
the problem is that we may not even go back to square one. We might go to -1.
Oh, wow.
You see, Martin Luther King described this type of thing, protests and all those things that you do to draw the attention of government to the plight of the people. He called it, I think he called it gadfly. Gadfly. You stink. It doesn't really change you so much. I believe in peaceful revolution. A way.
Define peaceful revolution.
Come again.
Define peaceful revolution.
Peaceful revolution is when a society organizes themselves in such a way that they can disobey, carry out civil disobedience without harming fellow individuals, fellow citizens, or the government. But the government should know that those that should obey their policy are now revolting, keeping track of what they intend to achieve. Peaceful revolution says, look, this country must be restructured, otherwise we will not pay our tax again. Peaceful revolution says our INEC chairman mustn't be appointed by the president anymore. It must be appointed by the judiciary after the National Assembly have ratified. Peaceful revolution says from henceforth we will not do ABCD again for government until we get ourselves regional autonomy, because you cannot box the entire country with different culture and different social dynamics together. We have people who believe that religion is their culture. You must give them such ample opportunity to practice their conviction.
Okay.
And we have people who do not even have to stick to what religious dogmas or any tenets whatsoever. They believe in their culture. You must allow them to come from the angle of their culture, so that at the center you galvanize all this. Of course, what does government have to do with resources that is at the back of these regions that should be extracting it and paying to the central government? Now, government will extract from you, abuse the revenue, and give you the portion they choose to. This is complicating governance.
Okay, sorry, taking a cue from exactly where you landed with regards to extractions and all. I hear the Senate, the House of Rep deputy, that's Carlo, say asks Nigerians, especially Abians, not to protest, and then he reminded them that, okay, are you not happy about the SEDC that was commissioned few days ago? So isn't that for you? Is that actually a good reason to look again? And then that's one. Two questions I would like you to take them together quickly before we get to our next headline. If you can help us in 1 minute. That's one on the side. And then secondly, you talked about peaceful revolution. So should Nigerians be looking, with the definition that you gave of peaceful revolution, should Nigerians be looking at peaceful revolution or hashtag end bad governance, hashtag end either revolution now or Tinubu's government?
It's unfortunate that we still behave like people who do not understand lifestyle in a democracy. We still behave like people that are under the influence of military. We are in democracy, and governance, the test void. You cannot just say end bad government. If the bad governance is the one that assumed to have been elected to the position, and you say end it, that's a treasonable felony. However, because we are in a culture that is not working, so people can escape when they say end bad government.
Without being charged for treason.
Of course, who is going to charge them? The ones that are also culprit of what they are doing. So we are like, even those that are saying they are going on to this into this protest, go and look at their spoons. It's full of corruption. It's full of lawlessness. It's full of pilfering from their different offices. It's full of not keeping to the official time that they should report to the office and go. It's full of people who go to the office only to gist, and at the end of the month they expect government to pay them, not only to pay them, to add allowances and to do ABCD for work that you did not do. For goodness sake, when we are point one finger against these leaders that we already know publicly that they are corrupt, the other one is asking you in your own private corner, are you not corrupt? Are you not lawless? Are you not the ones that are creating ethnic schism? You are the one that reminds yourself, I'm Igbo, they are Hausa, they are Yoruba. We have so much against ourselves that we don't even deserve to stand in the pulpit of holiness to condemn others. We need an entire overhauling of our values, if we have any, So that's that for as far as I'm concerned. Then, of course, Carlo, my brother, the deputy speaker, is is happy that the bill for Southeast Development Commission has been passed into law. I'm happy with him because the bill has been since the 7th or 8th Assembly. In fact, the bill first came up when the Northeast Development Commission came on board. After the passage of that particular bill and signing it into law, Southeast began to agitate for Southeast Development Commission. So having lingered for this period of 8 years or more, I think the deputy speaker has every reason to celebrate, because it finally came to an end under his watch. So that's an aspect that one can celebrate with him. But then we ask ourselves, we have created Northeast Development Commission, we have created the Northwest Development Commission, and now it's Southeast Development Commission. What are we waiting for? Going back to regionalism. Since we have in some way, not only advocating, been accepting regionalism, why? What are we waiting for? Why not declare that, look, I'm restructuring, let us go back to regionalism? This country will never work the way we brought everything together at the center. The center is being praised to the limit. They do not know how to handle, whether they accept it or not. That is the truth. They do not know how to manage the diversity. Obasanjo, being the best president I would want to continue to hail, he could not even manage the diversity. When he started, he began to make sure that those areas that have been marginalized for many years, that he compensated them. He did that to the southeast, he did that to the northeast, and by the time he was doing it to the northeast, the northwest protested that he's neglecting the north.
All right. Did I just hear you say since 1999 to 2004, Obasanjo is the best president?
Yes, he is.
Interesting. I'm sorry, a lot of people will differ. Let's quickly take this call before we go to the next headline. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
We are calling from Gombe.
All right. Please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We are talking about the demonstration, the rally, the issue of that thing, all and all. And I will just say the only thing that we need as the people from Gombe, we advise the presidency to put the price control. That is the solution of that only thing that we are which is happening from Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much. Point taken. Let's go to other matters. Fuel rises to 1,300 naira per litre as depots run dry. If you go to Lagos, you see the queues in Lagos back again. I was talking to someone and she said she was still at the filling station at around 2 a.m. yesterday in Lagos, and at the end of the day she was able to buy fuel for 850 naira. So now you know that the fuel scarcity and the fuel queues are back again. But then on the flip side, you have only NNPC can buy Dangote's petrol coming from IPMAN, as the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria. But then in another news again, you see the tussle or how Dangote's refinery and NNPC and NIMDRA and others there's this lock of horns every time they're shifting words to each other. One person is blaming the other for having a plant in Malta, and the other person is that's the NNPC boss is say, I dare you to name names. In all of this, we're looking at 1,300 naira per litre.
Expect more.
Oh.
Expect more. And let's put it this way. The racketeers has been in business for a very long time. Under the military, they were there. And then we came to our democracy in 1999. They were still there. What just happened, like as I said, at the turn of every 25 years, 50 years, 100 years, certain things happen that we cannot explain from our physical points of view, but it happens. Dangote, the richest man in Africa, would not deny the fact that he himself has been part of this petroleum cartel. It is just that at the time of Emileko, he is witnessing a situation where he is playing from outside the corridor.
Oh, so are you saying that he's protesting now because it's affecting him?
Of course. Have you seen him protest all these years? Have you seen he was part of the corporate what did they call themselves? Corporate something that NDO Kreko UK formed in 2003 to bring back Obasanjo's second tenure, you know. And since then, he has a way of being part of every government. But it does appear that the owners of this particular government wants to consolidate, and in so doing, they want to better their own cartel, because they all have their cartel that are very loyal to them, or should I say, that protects their interests. In all this, Nigerians are the ones that are suffering what they are doing. So what they are helping us now, which I believe it's time, they are exposing their dirty linen in the public. And to that extent, we congratulate them, because some of us would not have come to terms with what is
the information is being reeled out.
Yes. So they're helping us, and we are getting to understand. And like as I said, that is part of the reason why the young people are like, oh, these people are taking us for granted, you know. So we expect that this fuel thing will continue to rise until we confront it the way it should be. The way it is now is that every government in power has a way of benefiting from the corrupt proceeds of petroleum.
Okay, so if you look at the Guardian newspaper, it says 2 years after PIA, NNPCL struggles with over $5.3 billion loans, JV debts, and commercializations.
You know, when we talk of the cartels, it doesn't end with NNPC and those that protects their internal and external interests. The international oil companies too have their own cartel, and it is global. You know, the connection is global. So if they are hot in Nigeria, they have a way of paying back those that hurt them outside Nigeria, you know, because they too have an international cartel. To manage the diversity that is in the oil industry would have been simple after unbundling of NNPC. Still, we are still having the problem that we had under NNPC. NNPC cannot take decision without the input of the international oil companies, and both of them are somehow partners in crime when it comes to some certain issues of governance. Look at the Ogoni remediation program that an international court of competent jurisdiction has awarded Shell or so some money to pay. Have they paid? Go to the NDDC account. It is a contributory account. Federal government have their own contribution, and the oil companies have their own contribution. Go and look at the book of NDDC and see how much this international organization are owing.
Oh, it is quite sad. All right, let's take our last headline before we leave. The Nation's newspaper says recapitalization, 5 banks in capital markets to raise 1.26 trillion naira. And when this recapitalization started, I remember we had this conversation, and then you were also among those who liked the idea. I heard some other persons reminded me of the fact that when you open your app to send your transfer app, you see so many banks, like plethora of them, and then you just begin to wonder, which one is this one again, which one is that one again. So it now looks as though some other persons would now tell you that this recapitalization, are you sure at the end of the day it will not turn to the Dangote NNPC cartel kind of shouting down their necks? What are your thoughts in all of this, Mbila?
Well, you know, things are not being handled in the right way and for the benefit of the masses. Okay, let's leave it at that before we quickly take this call and go ahead. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Annabel.
Tell us your name and where you're calling us from, sir.
Yeah, my name is Annabel, and I'm wishing you from Orji in Lagos State.
Great to hear from you. Go ahead. You have less than 1 minute.
I greet your great analyst here in the studio. He has been doing justice to the topic and the headlines of the paper that have been given to him.
Thank you.
I would say that President Bola Tinubu is a grassroots man. And when you see some of his policies, you will see that he's doing it to the benefit of the grassroots people. But it's going to take time. And then you know, some people are they want to hold his hand tight. Look at the issue of local government autonomy. Up till now, some people are not happy with the president. Some people are not happy with the Minister for Justice. So, the issue of this protest, I want to beg the planned protesters, they should please look deeply into the program agenda of Mr. President. They will find out that the president is for people. It's not for just other people. It's for everybody, both the poor and the rich. When you see his program, but when somebody that is doing this kind of program is going to be given time. That is why the man is trying to do his own. But I want to beg President Bola Tinubu, using your medium, to appeal to him to please address the nation. Either today or tomorrow, he should address the nation so that we should not leave everything to the police. You know how Nigerian police behave. Any small something, they always take advantage of it. And it should not involve army. This is pure democracy. So
thank you so much.
An APC member, I want to beg him to please address the nation. So
very well taken.
The APC member will be glad that the man is speaking. My name is Alabala, and today is my birthday. Good morning.
Wow! Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. If we had our bell here, would have just ring shekere for you. Happy birthday to you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. We wish you all the best. Great years.
Yeah, I appreciate your compliments, and then of course, I think your position has been. His position is my position too, Mr. President. Come out and address your subjects. Mr. President, this palpable fear that is in the land could have been nipped at the bud if you address hunger and so on and so forth. Not the way you address it by consigning trailers of rice to party men who rebags them for reselling. Mr. President, men that are working with you are also helping in creating the problem. Whatever work or duty that you assign to some of your spokesperson, they are adding salt to the injury instead of minimizing what is happening. Mr. President, this particular protest would degenerate to what Nigerians did not expect unless you put your feet on the ground, not to kill the people, not to bring out the soldiers because we are in a democracy, but to engage in a dialogue. And of course, to show new leaf in what you are doing, the way the government is being run, and those ministers that have been known for corrupt tendency has to change to make sure that the people that you rule knows that you have shown a new leaf. Mr. President, I wish you well as you handle the problem that are coming, because it is enormous. Let nobody deceive you. It is enormous.
It is enormous. I agree with you, Obadiah Mbila. Good morning. All right, please go ahead with recapitalization.
My dear, we have had series of recapitalization since the days of CBN Governor Soludo.
Right.
I think he actually started the policy of recapitalization. And by now, those banks that we were told have been recapitalized, some of them have either merged with other banks or
been acquired.
Have petered out. So they are no longer in operation. So we have come to also understand that there is a politics behind this recapitalization. There are favored banks and there are those that must go. This is the reason why after recapitalization exercise, there are some that will benefit from the recapitalization exercise and then remain in business. And there are others that will go down that are not favored by the recapitalization exercise. So we want to believe that if the government is honest and the CBN approaches this new recapitalization with sincerity and honesty, so that we would have a more effective, solid, financially autonomous banks, that will be for the best interest of our country. And we must also address this issue of e-banking that is impoverishing many Nigerians. You make transaction and at the end of the day, it will not reflect in your account. It is just across board. Let me not mention some of the banks that are have been indicted in the process. Many Nigerians have reported how their money missed in transit, and the banks has nothing to say about it up to today. So billions of money that belongs to Nigerians that are suffering are missing in transit. Of course, the multiplication of microfinance banks too have its own problem, and these are the issues I think this recapitalization exercise should address.
Right.
It's not about giving license, it's how effective and how compliant they are with the rules.
All right, let's take our last calls before we end the program. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from After.
All right, go ahead. You have less than
Your
1
voice.
minute.
Okay. The situation in the country calls for a critical review. That there's hunger in the land is an understatement. The young people should be listened to, and I think it's time leadership should castigate down to the younger people so that they can have a say in leadership. It's very, very important. It's very important, and if our president is listening, I think it's time he needs to listen to the young people because they have something to offer.
All right.
Many of young people, if you leave them not engaged, a lot will go wrong, and we don't want to see this nation burn because the agitation is high. So I wish those in governance all the best, and they should do the best thing so that generation that will come after will not find them wanting. Thank you.
Thank you
You're
so
doing a
much.
great job on this picture.
Thank you so much for your contribution. We appreciate your call. Lastly, before we let you go, in 1 minute, if you can help me, Obadiah Mbila, Kenneth Okonkwo leaves the Labour Party and part ways with Peter Obi, even though Peter Obi has come out to make a statement in that regard. What are your thoughts?
We have seen those parasitic elements who pitch when it is convenience, when it is fair, and leave
Who are you
when it
referring
is.
to?
Come again?
Who are you referring to in this contest?
I said we have seen, and
You're not
I'm making a general statement.
No particular person.
Don't you remember the one they call, the character they call Reno Mokre? Was he for Tinubu? Don't you remember the character they call Boala? Was he for Tinubu? So why should Kenneth Okonkwo stick to his principle when nothing is coming out of it? So when it is an industry that allow you to be a fair weather friend, and when it is no longer fair, you leave. People that are disciplined, that have character, cannot go that way. They swim or sink with their principle if you believe in him. So why did you start with him in the first place? Why didn't you tell us this? Are you getting to know what he's doing now? Didn't you see it in his character when you were singing his praise? So
Well, let me be the devil's advocate. Probably he'll come out to say that, okay, the things I was seeing, I see them no more.
Well, you see, I don't know how to put it so that I will not be misunderstood. There is no way you can finish seeing a man in the space of 4 years. You will continue to see the side that you didn't see. But like as I said, relationship is not just about when it is good. I'm relating with you, Annabel, when it is no longer good. No. You make friends. I like the way Babangida put it many years ago. He said he doesn't forget his friends. We are friends if we are friends, whether it is good or not.
All right.
If we are only friends because I've discovered that you told lie the other day, no. If you tell lie, you're still my friend, but you are a friend that tells lie.
Obadiah Mbila, CEO Lovewalk Media. It is always a pleasure having these discussions with you.
Thank you so very much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you for coming. All right, let's go straight to social media corner. Very quickly, let's see what's happening there. You have Prince Olumuyiwa Adejobi, that's the police PRO, says this is commendable. CP Akwa Ibom, CP Wahid Ayilara. I know Akwa Ibom people will enjoy this season because the governor is a police pekin. We stand by our people, we love our people, and we always interact. That's according to him. The CP of Akwa Ibom gave some palliatives to people, but somebody came out to respond saying, just imagine Nigerians don't suffer in the hands of these people. Poverty is a weapon indeed. This is shameful, very shameful, he says. And then the PRO decided to respond saying, what have you done to help others around you? Come out openly and say it. Those who are philanthropists will always be. It is your turn to emulate good things and make people laugh. A beneficiary sent this picture to me to commend the CP. I'm sure this goes a long way in his life. God bless Nigeria. All right, let's take our last video, and that's from a Unizik lecturer who decided to be a barber in class. I don't know if I will accept that, but let me throw it to you, Obadiah Mbila. If you find your son, if you find the picture or a video of your son on social media being they shave his hair during class, would you accept it or not? Yes or no?
The lecturer is devoid of knowledge. He's bereft of knowledge. He is intolerant, and he doesn't have character to show that we live in a world of variety, a universe of variety, where people have freedom to dress the way they want to dress. The university is not a kindergarten where you require people to dress
the way you want them to dress
with certain rule and uniforms and so on and so forth. This is adult. If he leaves his hair and wants to have hair, what's your business? Your business is to give him the knowledge that brought him there. You should be concerned that he's not taking the knowledge. That should be your concern, not the way he dressed.
I absolutely agree with you, because I don't know what I would do if I see my ward or child or brother being treated that way. But let's leave it there. Thank you so much for tuning in, and to all those who called. We appreciate your call. We do not take it for granted. I will see you again tomorrow, Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. My name is Annabel Orji. Keep watching KAFTAN television. Up next, we'll be having business economy. See you later.